Well, thank you for joining me, Lincoln. We've known each other for a few years. I'm a singer and songwriter in my part-time. Lincoln has always been so kind and helpful. He's involved in audio on many levels. So, Lincoln, let's just jump right into the question. Tell
Yeah,
us what you do in Channel 5 Productions and why did you start this company?
I started this company because I've always been passionate about entertainment and I've always been passionate about making people happy.
You've always got a smile on your face. You're always so positive. I've recently was at your event that you did at Loftus for the 6 years, and you did an event at Pavilion doing sound. Tell us some of the other types of events and things that you do.
We offer a whole range of things in our company. So we do decor for events, for private events. We do band support for companies that need it. We also do brand activate through media, through setting up TVs in different restaurants. We've got a vast amount of experience in safety and security regarding events and consulting. We do a lot of corporate events as well. We've got quite a lot of experience with outdoor events and distribution.
I know you've done a lot of outdoor events and you've run some parties. I believe is that a brand underneath Channel 5 Production, the Random Realities brand?
Absolutely. I'm just launching a new project at the moment. Channel 5 Productions has always had a brand that we worked with the last 8 years called Random Reality. And Random Reality is a brand focused on doing massive outdoor events. So what we've decided to do now is we're going to be taking on 6 different genres in the music industry, namely a piano for your students from all the varsities, E-Pass genres, techno genres, progressive psytrance genres, and we're doing a sit-down dinner and dance for 18 bunch. Our whole goal has been to be a completely in-house event where we don't have to rely on anybody else. We can come in, we can do camera systems, we can do video setups, we can do stage setups. Our capabilities of what we do is very advanced. I'm quite excited about this new venture as we'll be throwing events every 6 weeks in all the different genres. I'm hoping that with the consistency of the events and giving people that option to say, hey, actually there's something happening in Durban. I'm trying to just bring in that fun aspect into it.
Thank you for sharing. So that kind of leads into question number 2. How long have you been in business? How do you feel that your company has been contributing positively to the community?
Started about 12 years ago. And the whole focus of the company is to create platforms for up-and-coming artists, to give the people opportunities that don't get the opportunities. Well, the music industry is, if you could put it that way, where they don't just let anybody get on a stage and actually try and showcase themselves. So my history, I've created a platform for over 180 DJs over the last 8 months. I've hosted 45 outdoor events and I've hosted 4 massive events with the biggest one hitting numbers of 4,500 people. Our capability was massive regarding that. And that's the drive behind the company and we've been doing it. And our new drive now to channelize everything is still to create platforms for the people that don't have those opportunities. I can give you an example. Under 18 parties, we're going to be picking kids out of the schools that are DJing currently, that are trying to get their names out there, trying to grow in the industry and give them opportunities to showcase themselves. A lot of the stuff we do as well is trying to promote up and coming bands. Times are hard, equipment's expensive. We've got the equipment, we've got the gear, everything we've got saying. We built ourselves up from the ground and it's been tough, but I'm starting to see these opportunities opening for artists and for that lack in the industry of just support and love, which hasn't been.
As you're speaking, I'm just remembering and thinking of me knowing you for a few years, how supportive and encouraging you've been to me. When I was doing a gig, you're like, hey, I can help you get a hold of this type of gear, or I did an event singing at one of the garden shows, and your team came and helped me with gear and things, and charging me rates that I would never have been able to afford otherwise if I didn't work with you guys. And I know you all about heart and love, and I've put so much energy into the community that way. And even giving me and other artists opportunity to come and perform at gigs where you're doing music. I'm so glad I get to let people know about you. And I know that you guys were really hit in the floods. And luckily, a lot of your gear survived, but I know you were really knocked hard during those floods. And you had to get back on your feet, and you've been really resilient and always positive and positive in the community. So I'm grateful that you were wanting to come on and be interviewed today so more people can learn about what you offer.
Absolutely. Life is full of challenges, like the challenges and always going floods and using our entire household and everything we've owned. There's a lot of doors that opened up, and there's always a reason for things happening. There's always positive things that come through. So with whatever hardships that I've experienced, there's always been reward that's come through. And I think that's purely because of my positive attitude. And I'm a relentless sprinter, and I won't just give up.
I love it. I'm just remembering something that's next to me that you gave me.
Yeah.
Let me grab it. So this is my minion from Lincoln.
Yeah, it's our donation minion.
We were planning something that never quite came to fruition because of the floods and things, but Lincoln's just always so happy to support artists and businesses and people who need what he offers. And I just have this minion here, and when I see it, I just laugh and smile. Thanks so much for contributing positivity into the world and just shining a light on you and what you do. It brings me a lot of joy. So we'll move on to the next question.
Sure.
What business values or philosophies guide your decision? With businesses, never-ending decisions and choices, it feels.
Well, I've always had the same philosophy. What you put out is what you receive. If you're doing something with good intent, you can't go wrong. We've paid all our school fees. We've learned lessons going through our events and that. And the key thing that always comes up is just being honest with people, having integrity, and also patience is a very big thing in this industry. It's not easy. There's a lot of things that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
That's one of the next questions. What is one of the struggles you're dealing with as a business owner? Because part of the reason for these conversations is so that other business owners might not feel so alone, or they're like, oh, wow, it's not just me. People who want to be entrepreneurs, they can use these interviews to learn. So yeah, often people say cash flow, but share one of the struggles that you've not only had to face, but how you've overcome it.
Yes. Obviously, cash flow is always a struggle when you're building a business from the ground up. And the way we've managed to overcome our struggles and keep our cause alive and keep our company going is purely by picking up whatever business comes into our hands. We run a renovation business on the side. We run handyman services. So when the entertainment side is quiet, we're busy building and doing plumbing and painting. We've got a vast network of people that we've built up. We get calls to install sound systems for churches or to install camera systems for people. And in order for us to try and hold up the capital we've had to adapt with the time. In COVID, we actually did 3 shows in Mshlanga village. The entertainment was non-existent during COVID. It was a full-blown lockdown. But we set up a stage. We got a gentleman who dresses as Elvis, and he does his show. He's absolutely brilliant. He's been around Pavilion theatre for the last 20 years. And we worked purely on donation. That's where our little minion donation guy came in. And people were quite fair in that, and they helped us. We'd do it. We walk away 1,200 rand in our pockets, money we didn't have. And unfortunately, it was the only income we had at that time. So we've always done whatever it takes to keep us afloat.
So what I'm hearing is like diversifying your income stream. So you do events and you do sound for musicians, but you also install systems and you also do activation. So I'm seeing skill sets that have parallel usages. And so whether you are doing an event on donation based, or whether you're doing your own event, or doing music for someone's corporate event or family party, or come and help a musician like me, do something on the side. From my understanding as well in business, when you work for yourself, it's not a salary where you just know you're getting 30K a month or whatever it might be. So you need to be able to be diversify your income streams. When you have really good months, keep some aside and plan for that. There's going to be months that maybe business is not so flowing. Ultimately, what I'm hearing and what I'm also discovered myself in being in business, you have to have a lot of courage to ride those waves, when it's not doing as well, maybe as when you've been high and flying. Because I know we've spoken and you've had months where you're making a lot of money and then months where there's not so much. So I'm hearing diversify your income streams and be willing to be humble.
Absolutely. Durban's very seasonal. Yeah. Especially that time industry. After New Year's, Durban, general Durban events all happen over December and it's absolute chaos. Everyone spends their money. And then you sit for January, February, it's not really much happens. And then things pick up again. And then July hits and everyone spends all their money on the horses. And then you sit for another 2 months with nothing happening. And that's also hence why I'm starting to do my events every 6 weeks so that I won't have that gap in the time.
What I love also about interviewing you and why I wanted to interview you is because you're not just the Home to KZN initiative was to spotlight creative and businesses and causes. And when I think of people who do that, you're one of the people I think about because you're doing creative work, you're doing business, but you also support, like you said, you've tried and create opportunity. I know you've even done events where you haven't charged people. And so I feel like you're one of those people that is a good combination of all three of those things. And I'm really hoping that this platform, Home to KZN, shines a light on people who are not only just in business, but giving back. And giving back to causes, to charities, but also my business, Grow Brave, is about understanding that when we can leverage creativity to do so much more. And that's what I'm hearing. You're not just, my business failed because no one came to the event or complaining about the market. So many people just have that victim mentality of complaining about the markets or whatever. You're one of the type of people that, what can I do? Oh, I can do this. Oh, I could create that. Oh, we can try this. Why don't we try that? So I love that mentality when people are willing to be innovative and have initiative and leverage their creativity to do more, because that's really expansive. And it doesn't mean that, it just solves all the problems. But when I think of you in many ways, and we spoke about that struggle, overcoming it through creativity, through positivity. So that's what I'm hearing from you and what I know from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just pushing through everything and being positive makes a huge difference. And one of my main drive lately is pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Not that I've had a comfort, I've been building it. And now I'm hitting the boundaries of my comfort zone boundaries. So taking on this project of 6 different genres, it's massive. The marketing side of it, advertising side of it is massive. But where we are very fortunate, we have a lot of friends and we have a lot of people, including yourself, your input's been very valuable in a lot of things that we're doing. I've got some amazing people around me. So that's pretty much where we at the time. Yeah.
Another question. What are your top 3 tips for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Be honest, do your homework and be passionate about what you do. And be prepared to work hard.
I love that. Passion, yeah, you definitely I resonate that, and I see that in you with the work you do. Second to last question. Throughout the dark days or the hard time, the highs and the lows, sometimes the highs can be just as challenging when you've got tons of business and you're just stretched. And what keeps you going? What has kept you going for the last decade?
I'd say pure and utter stubbornness to succeed. I know I'm going to succeed. I had an epiphany 14 years ago about this business. And I want to do massive things. And as it is, I've contributed to the communities in a great way. I've done the Durban Street Food Festivals for the last 6 years and created those platforms for all those artists. Oh, it's just been driven to succeed. And it's not about the money side of it, but because I'm passionate about what I'm is the money will come as it opens up. I have many people who ask me that question, like, what are you doing? But they don't see the seeds that have been planted. And we planting seeds in all different aspects, in all different companies. And those seeds, well, they're all starting to germinate. And all the love I've given in my life is slowly starting coming back to me. So it's just being completely stubborn, but succeeding. I'll do whatever it takes because I got nothing else that I want to do that makes me excited. So that's it in a nutshell.
Beautiful. And our final question. So
Yes.
if you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self before starting these businesses? What advice would you give to a younger you 12, 15 years ago?
Just it's nobody.
So tell us a bit more about that. I did in many ways. If people said, oh, I've paid your invoice, then I would just trust them, which turned into 2 years and still nothing. So
Yeah.
I bring that up not to be pessimistic. And I am a very trusting person, sometimes on the more gullible side, but I'm curious, everyone's got a story about someone who owes their money, for example, but the reality is we can be kind, we can be generous, we can over deliver. But sometimes you need boundaries. So we're laughing now and you saying don't trust anyone. If this is a place to give advice to young entrepreneurs, what advice are you giving to your younger self on in many ways you have to trust, right? So I have to trust that if I give you money to come and help me set up a gig, that you're going to show up. So what advice are you giving to people or your younger self about working in a space where sometimes people are not honoring their words, they're not being responsible, they're not honoring agreements, they try and twist words. So tell us more.
Yes. So basically, a lot of people that do events, whether it's corporate events or flea market events or little band gigs, they've got these ideas in their mind of how they want to do it and how it's going to work and how it's going to play out. And in reality, it's never like that. You know, you're not going to sell 500 tickets in 2 days if you haven't been doing the same event for the last 3 years, especially in Durban. And for young entrepreneurs coming into the industry is you have to be mindful of what is going on. You have to listen to people when they talk and understand where they're coming from. I've had situations where clients phone me, they ask me, how much is this going to be? And I quote them, and immediately I can hear in their voice and their energy, I don't want to deal with these clients. And most of the time, you're going to really have to work hard to keep that person happy. So the thing is, listen to that voice inside of you and be aware of the fact that you are running a business, you are dealing with lots of logistical problems. Ask questions, ask painful questions, ask them what they plan, how they're going forward with it. So that there's a clear-cut channel of communication in every transaction. And listen to that voice inside of you. And yes, I've had terrible experiences with clients that I've put a lot of love and trust into them, and they were completely different ulterior motives, and the main one was paying anyway. Even if their events were successful, they were just there as a one-hit wonder to try and make a quick buck. So do your homework and
get a deposit before you show up.
Unfortunately, due to the current situation, the way people are doing business these days, I've had to really become very hard on my clients. And I request a 70% deposit 7 days before the event, non-refundable. And on the day when I arrive there to set up, before I set up, balance has to be thinking. I walk away, and it's a sad thing. And a lot of people say, oh, but you've been like that because you've been victimized by other people. But the reality of it is this is my business. This is what I do. I don't have any other streams of income.
Your gear is worth what?
R2.5 million rand in total. We can do events up to 5,000 people.
So what I'm hearing is you're kind, you're generous, but also you've had to become very particular about communication, about agreements, about the timing of payment, about the deposits on arrival. When I hear that, I hear someone more seasoned in business, because I've also had to learn the hard way of trusting people and their stories. It's like you're saying, it's the reality sometimes. So even though maybe some people are hearing this and thinking, oh, this is like maybe a downer or something, I think the reality is, to run a business, you are spending your time. It's the opportunity cost. You could have booked another event on that day if they want to cancel last minute, or the fuel, the employees. So there's a huge amount of unseen costs that go into running a business. So I think that's a very interesting piece of advice to the younger self. And that's very much what I've had to also learn. Deposit to book the dates, to secure the date. If they want to cancel, then at least I didn't lose that day or that time. Basically, before the thing is delivered, the final amount must come due. We can also realize I'm done with chasing people and promises. And look, this is definitely not the majority of people, but I've also had to realize that being quite clear around payment terms and around deals, it's this intricate balance between generosity, wanting to trust people, but also doing what you need to do to have clarity around your boundaries, is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. It's setting those boundaries. The local trend these days is people are paying you with fraudulent proof of payments. And it's happening all over the place. And it's not only in our industry. Someone sends you a proof of payment, they come and pick it up, they disappear. And then you find out 2 days later it's fraudulent. So if people send you a proof of payment, it has to have immediate clearance. And then you know you're good to go.
Because literally companies have folded from stuff like that. So trust the, whatever you want to call it, sixth sense, intuition, the little voice in your head. And trust the vibe you're getting from people. Sometimes it's better to refer and say, hey, look, I don't know that I'm the right person for you. But so-and-so, they're a bit more expensive, but I think that might be a better fit. Sometimes we sacrifice for work. Like I know you said earlier, you take whatever work you can get, but I'm sure there's people who you've turned down because you were like, no, that's not going to work for me.
Absolutely. If you're trusting me to come and do your event, then I've got to trust you to pay me. So by you paying me is showing that you trust me. And by me delivering is me showing you that you can trust it. And you don't want to do business like that, then go and send someone else, because, I'd rather have bread and water than have the frustration of dealing with not being paid and owing other people money. We always give 500% in our events. And a lot of times we might quote for 2 speakers, 2 DJs and lights. And when we get there, we're putting in extra decor in the smoke machine because we want it to be cool. We want the clients to have the best experience possible. And that's where we help. It's not all about money. It's also about just being out there and doing what you love.
Sharing your passion. Thank you so much, Lincoln, for sharing your experience and sharing your drive for business. And it's so nice to hear about the upcoming events you have. And so people can just follow you on Instagram or send you a message. Keep a lookout on your page for some of these upcoming Durban events. I think that's going to be really exciting, especially supporting young under 18 DJs. So looking forward to seeing more. Thank you, Lincoln. Cheers, everyone.